Greetings and merry meet. I'm Mortika Lacrosse, and this is Way of the Witch. In this Way of the Witch episode, we're going to talk about the Akashic Records. So let's jump right into it.
So you're probably like, well, what exactly are the Akashic Records, Mordecai? And, well, when you hear the term, what comes to mind? Like, it might be a giant filing cabinet of information that comes to your mind, a library, a book, or even a database. But according to the records themselves, they are another dimension called the Akasha. It's a higher dimension than the dimension we live in. Every thought, every idea, every action from the past, present, and future is stored ad infinitum. If you're familiar with string theory, then Akashic Records is basically like a database of what's happening in all the universes that are coexisting together. Basically, a record of what will happen, what is happening, what has happened, what could possibly happen. It's a higher dimension, and the rules of time do not apply there. Information from 2,000 years ago is accessible as what happened to you yesterday. And what happened to you yesterday is as available as what could happen to you if you stay on the same trajectory in 10 years. Now, the experts describe the Akashic Records as everything has its own Akashic Records. Your soul, your house, your dog, even your relationship. You can open a specific record of things to ask any questions that pertain to them. So, there's that. It can offer you so many things. It can offer you a way to look at your life, empowerment, transformation, wisdom, guidance, energetic support. For centuries, the records, the energetic archives of the soul's past, present, and future possibilities were the exclusive domain of mystics, saints, and scholars. Now you're like, well, do they exist? And yes, they do. And the Akashic Records show us potential outcomes as well as what has already happened.
So usually I do a shout out occasionally in YouTube videos, but instead I decided to do a different type of shout out. And that basically it's because I recently read this book right here, Eternal Youth by Alexander Williams. And I really recommend this book. Basically, it's about this character named Carolyn Owens who is recently a recovering drug addict staying in a hostel. And then she stumbles upon an ancient secret, I guess the best way to put it, of a certain type of creature that is taking advantage of those that are in despair, and it feeds off of it. And that's all I'm going to tell you because I don't want to ruin the book for you. So I'll leave the link in the description bar below so you can check out and buy the book on Amazon, if you will. The interesting fact, the author that wrote this book has always been fascinated with vampires, but that's not the only interesting fact. He wrote this while staying in a hostel himself when he was didn't have a place to live, and he came upon the idea of the book to the plot. He was inspired basically by homeless people and people that were in despair easily being able to be taken advantage of by certain groups of people. So anyways, check the description bar down below. Now back to the video.
So now you're probably wondering how you can access the information or how you can ask the Akashic Records. Well, there are beings called masters, teachers, and loved ones, or MTLOs for short, and they're basically a spiritual team where you can take the questions to ask them. Now, however, they do not suffer fools. So you can't ask yes or no questions. You can ask what, why, and how. And now you're probably wondering, well, exactly, Mordecai, how do you get to the Akashic Records? Well, you can reach the Akashic Records through meditation and dreams. And so that's how you can reach the Akashic Records. Maybe later on in a future video, I'll have how you can, meditate to get to the Akashic Records. Now, I myself have had an experience with the Akashic Records through dreams and whatnot, and actually met people that I couldn't possibly have known in life because they were dead before I was even born, and I verified that these people were actual people, going through photos with people that, family members that I know now, and they were like, oh, that person is your uncle such and such, you never met them. So That's my experience with the Akashic Records. Is several times I've gone there in dreams, and at one point in one of the dreams, there was like this cafe, and I talked to this uncle that was long dead before I was even born. So that's basically what I have to say about the Akashic Records and my experience with them and what the Akashic Records are.
And so that's the video about the Akashic Records, if you will. If you like this kind of content, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you can be notified of future Way of the Witch videos. I hope you also enjoyed my little story about my experience with the Akashic Records and whatnot. Anyways, comment down below of what you thought of this YouTube video, and if you've ever visited the Akashic Records. I'd really like to know and hear your feedback, so comment down below. Thank you for watching. I'm Mortika, Lacrosse. Until next time, peace out, namaste, and blessed be. We'll see you next time.